Good morning, volleyball fans, and welcome back to Day 3 here in Atlantic City. We are getting ready for our final 5 events, and what better way to start it off when the battle for the Lone Star State. We've got the Dallas Tornadoes and the Texas Tyrants getting ready right now to start off the day with what is sure to deliver another great match. Matt, we've had a ton of nail-biters all weekend long. About to get into another one that you know is going to be personal. How do you think these teams are going to handle this match?
Well, Nick, first of all, good morning, and, happy to be here again, day number 3. But, we've got some bragging rights on the line for sure. Both teams here from the Lone Star State traveling up here to Atlantic City to get into this kind of civil war, if you will, of Texas, the morning match of the third day. So hopefully both teams are well rested. And, really excited to get after it here. The Texas Tyrants and the Dallas Tornadoes, it's going to be a good match right out of the gates for sure.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of success so far this weekend. The Tyrants going 2-0. Dallas Tornadoes have had a tough weekend so far, 0-2. They're still looking for that first win, 0-5. But, they're definitely delivering far better lineups, performances than we saw from them event 1. So got to keep an eye on that and see if they're able to get this first win. It's definitely a personal one for them. They were out here supporting Texas last night in their match. So while there is that friendship, there's also going to be a lot of head-to-head competition.
Yeah, good to see the camaraderie from the teams, supporting one another as well. But, as they say, that was yesterday. And it's a new day. And you're only as good as your last match. So with the Tornadoes being 0-5, they definitely don't want to fall to 0-6 through the second event here. And the Tyrants, they're really stepping up, and they've got some new faces on the squad, and they've made some good impact. And Coach Mauro Grasso has done a great job preparing his team. I had a couple minutes to chat with him before the match and kind of got a better understanding of what they're doing in their practice gym in order to prepare for these events and kind of throughout the 2021 season. And for the Tornadoes, they've got some new faces too over there, and perhaps their personnel lineup changes, trying to find that right lineup on the court and kind of gel and mesh together. So hopefully, for the Tornadoes, they don't fall 0-6, but the Tyrants, they would love to go 3-0 this weekend and overall record improvement there.
Certainly the case. And before we get too much into this match, let's take a step back and let's look at the overall standings after last night's match concluded. Right now you can see the American Conference and the National Conference. And after last night's massive nail-biter, Team Freedom upsetting the Utah Stingers to maintain their 5-0 perfect record, the only team in the league to do so. Currently, the American Conference with some tied up records. Look, we took the points last night to see using our FIVB point scoring system, and that's going to put the Stingers in second, the Tyrants in third, Blaze in fourth, Untouchables there in fifth, with the Ramblers maintaining that first spot after beating the Stingers on Friday. National Conference has a little bit less parity there with a clear rundown on the win column from Team Freedom, Southern Exposure, Stunners, Matadors, and the Tornadoes. However, the Stunners are a quick rising star as they are showcasing what could be the new best lineup in the league. 2 huge wins this weekend so far, taking down the Matadors on Friday in a quick 3-0 win and upsetting the Ramblers last night in a quick 3 win as well. So they've got one more match this afternoon, and they'll look to see if they can go 3-3 and continue their climb.
Yeah, it's important to understand sort of what the goal here is with these rankings, and seeing those conference standings really shed some light on having those top 4 teams advance to that final event here in a few weeks in July. But we do have one more event leading up to that, which is going to be in about 2 weeks in LA, and those matches obviously are going to be key, as are every match today. So every match going forward throughout the season is of extreme importance to each one of these teams for that ranking purpose. And like you said, the OC Stunners really coming out of the gates poorly in the first event, going 0-3, and now 2-0 through this weekend, looking to go 3-0 for the weekend, to even their overall record as well. So it's going to be a great day of volleyball, another awesome event here for the NVA, especially here in Atlantic City over Memorial Day weekend, but really excited to see the action get started here on Sunday morning.
There with you. It's going to be a day to deliver for sure, and you talk about the day. Let's take a quick look at our schedule on the left. You see the Texas Tyrants and Dallas Tornadoes, the first match at 9 a.m. After that, we're going to have the Untouchables, Southern Exposure, followed up by probably the best match of the day, the Stingers and the Stunners. That middle day match is going to be the one to watch. Do not miss out. Followed up by Matadors and Team Freedom, and then Blaze and the Ramblers. A couple matches there with a lot of importance. Matadors 1-4. They're playing well. They've got to find a win. And while Team Freedom is 5-0, I think that match is going to be a lot closer than the records might indicate. And lastly, Chicago Untouchables, much like the climbing stars of the OC Stunners, they brought a new roster. They're having a great weekend, and they need to find a win up against Southern Exposure, who, while they've got a great lineup and playing well, I think we're going to see another tight match that when we're looking for that July qualification, that match has a lot of implications. So
yeah, well, as does every match that's being played. I mean, talking about the Matadors and the Tornadoes, respectively 4 and 5 in that conference, and this is an important match for both of those teams, even this match here, because if the Tornadoes fall to 0 and 6, that gives the Matadors a little bit of a breathing room. At 1 and 4, if they can pull off a win today, get to 2 and 4, that'll kind of give them a little bit more of a cushion. But if they were to fall to 1 and 5, kind of keeps that race for that last spot really tight.
It's really true, and one of those things to talk about for the fans. So we use an FIVB point scoring system that is a 3-0 scale. So if you win a match in 3 or 4, you score yourself 3 points. If you win in 5, you get 2. If you lose in 5, you get 1. Any other loss is 0. So keep track of that. Those points are going to matter to break tiebreakers. So like you said, it's really going to matter. But right now, it's the best part of the day. Let's get over to some volleyball. Dallas, it looks like they're going to be this serving team taking on the Texas Tyrants here. So let's get into it.
Always excited to see how these teams come out of the gate for a first match of the day. 9 a.m. local time here in Atlantic City. Yesterday, Tornadoes played an early match, and we were looking for them to kind of get that energy going, waiting for their coffee and espresso to kick in. So hopefully they got their bodies activated a little bit faster there, and we'll be ready to go out of the gates here as Kanairi will start serving for the Tornadoes.
Yesterday, yeah, he was having a little bit of trouble, and they went to Hardman yesterday trying to look for a little bit of the mojo. Didn't quite get it to work. And the high swinging Johnson there is Doug in the back row. Set to the outside, jammed, and that's going to be a net there for the Tyrants. All right. We're seeing Ezequiel Sanchez making his return here, as well as Chike Oporum in the middle. So this is a very similar lineup to what we saw day one. And, of course, if you don't know who to watch on the Tornadoes, number 20, Felix Chapman, is your guy, an absolute offensive threat.
Yeah, the 6'8", opposite hitter for the Tornadoes. This is his first weekend playing in the NBA. He's been a strong offensive weapon for the Tornadoes, offensively and on a block and defense. There he is, number 20 in gray. High flyer with a live arm, but if you can't pass the ball, you can't run an offense. So unfortunately for the Tornadoes, that was an ace, as Gianluca Grasso, the USC graduate out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, son of head coach Mauro Grasso of the Tyrants. Good little father-son story there.
We got a couple family stories. We got the father-son Grasso duo. We've got the Dan and Chris Nugent Chicago Untouchables Team Freedom duo, a couple brothers. We've had the Guzman brothers playing for LA Blaze.
When do the Nugent brothers play against each other?
That's one I don't know.
Have to highlight that one coming up. Hopefully it's next in the next event.
Got to give a shout out to the original duo, Nick and Phil England. My brother's one of the statisticians here in the league, so shout out to him. Didn't make the trip out to Atlantic City, but will be back with us in San Bernardino. And on the topic of that, I want to say a huge thanks to all of our support staff and refs that are getting the court set up right now. Without them, this would not be possible. So huge thank you to them, our production team, and everyone else in the NBA that's making this great pro league a thing here in the U.S. Big jump serve there from Grasso. Kanairi to the outside. Chapman tips over the top. Quinones takes first ball, so that's going to be Zakir setting it outside, and Tim Johnston drawing first blood here for the Tyrants.
Big key player there for the Tyrants, number 17 in orange, Tim Johnson. bit of an undersized opposite hitter, but he makes up for it in his vertical leap ability. We were talking about it yesterday, Nick. The guy can absolutely fly.
Gravity does not affect him the same way it affects me, that I can assure you.
He got a special pass in that department.
Yep. All right. Steve Roschitz, the ambidextrous AVP player, now goes to Robinson. Back set to Johnson, and they use him once again. They've identified that that is the way to start this match, and a 4-1 lead here for the Tyrants.
I think one of the keys to this match is definitely going to be the offensive versus the block and defense of the Tornadoes. They have not shown themselves to be a very strong blocking team, and with the hitting capabilities of Tim Johnson and Gianluca Grasso, it's going to cause some problems for the Tornadoes.
It certainly is. Opurum covers himself, but no one home in the backcourt, and that's going to be a defensive stop there for the Tyrants. And you know, you talk about Johnson. He was our player of the match yesterday, picking up, I believe, right around 16 kills in that 4-set win yesterday. So some pretty phenomenal numbers. And now Zakir Pasha with a float serve. Maune gets a block touch, covered in the back set, or the backside. Bumped over, Quinones takes first ball. Maune looks to set to Grasso. Grasso tips over, covered by Chapman. Roschitz with a lefty swing, dug by Grasso. And now to Maune in the middle, and that's going to be a kill once again. Ryan Maune's had a phenomenal tournament so far, blocking, and a lot of great second ball sets to his hitters. Pretty confident with his hands.
Yeah, nice to see the middle blocker getting some action early on in this match. Obviously going to be a key player for the Tyrants here as we make our way through this morning game here. Not too sure what the holdup is here at the moment. Communication between referees, but got the green light here to continue, so. Zakir Pasha now serving for the Tyrants. Little jump float. Passed up by Roschitz. Here comes Chapman on the right, controlled and dug by Grasso. Now Robinson on the left, high off the block, and that one finds the line. Based on the call of our line judge, he saw it. The Tyrants said it was out. Line judge said it was in.
And we see Angel Rivera now entering the court, and we saw a setter substitution already that we saw yesterday on the side of the Tornadoes. So that's going to be Kanairi exiting.
Opura missing that jump float serve attempt. So yeah, the Tornadoes employing the double substitution. 2 players coming in, and Hardman now taking over the setting duties. As Tim Johnson will try his jump serve here for the Tyrants. Chapman on the right.
Ooh, nice Nick. Kill, no worries. Getting the roster moves all tracked over here. Rivera was working yesterday to find a better connection with Hardman. They had a couple paintbrushes to start the match off, but in the later parts of their match, they were definitely getting connected. So seeing if they can get that going early here today. But that's going to leave Cologne on the bench, and he was having a pretty solid match yesterday, so interested to see if he gets involved at all later on. Tip over the top by Robinson, and that is not going to be picked up by Felix Chapman.
Yeah, it just might be a little bit of load management, player management, you know, who's feeling better, who's a little fatigued. At this point of the event, you know, this is the 3rd match for each team as we come to our first technical timeout, but obviously you got to be able to have your role players ready to go at any moment. But if some of these guys are a little fatigued and their legs are a little weary from these matches, obviously got to let them rest and get somebody else out there on the court. So
definitely the case, and it speaks to the conditioning and discipline of the Texas Tyrants. They have run with this same lineup pretty much from day one in event 1, and they're relentless. They know these are their guys, and other than the double sub that they employ, bringing Daniel Jacobs and Isaiah Afaji, and there's very few adjustments that lineup sees.
Well, as you can see right there, Coach Grasso he runs a pretty tight ship. Like I said, I got a chance to speak with him before the match and get a little bit of a better understanding of his Brazilian upbringing, how he's employing sort of his career-long coaching experiences into this program from a physical preparation standpoint to a strategy and what they're trying to do there in Dallas with the Texas Tyrants. He's very excited about the opportunity. He's spent a lot of time with professional club teams down in Brazil, the Brazilian national program, now involved with USA Volleyball as well. So just a wealth of knowledge, and these guys are lucky to have him as their head coach.
They certainly are, and he is well deserving of their respect, but he respects his players, demands a lot from them, and the team really shows how beneficial it is to have him at the helm. And there's a block touch goes off the hands of Maune and Grasso, and that's going to be a kill for the Tornadoes. Saquiel Sanchez with the jump serve. Nice pass by Real Vieira, and Maune getting a big swing that's covered well. A little bit of miscommunication there, and Tornadoes tipped over, and they go right back to Maune. Dug by Chapman once again, and Chapman swings into the tape, misses his cross angle swing that he was looking for, and that's going to be a point for the Tyrants.
Yeah, we didn't see Saquiel Sanchez play yesterday.
Yep.
He had the day off, as we were talking about, with a little bit of load management there. But expect some big things out of him today, hopefully being fresh.
Saved by Chapman there and free-balled over by Hernandez. Quick set to the outside, and Grasso swings into that hard angle, uses the outside hand of Rivera.
You know, Grasso, we haven't said his name very much offensively yet. He's been pretty quiet early on in this first set, but obviously one of the key players for the Tyrants, their team captain. Really runs the show on the court. Explosive outside hitter for possibly being a little bit undersized as that position player, number 9 in orange.
Yeah, and while he is undersized, his ability to compensate with an explosive arm swing and a variety of shots makes him a player to certainly be respected. So keep an eye on him as well, and that's going to be another missed serve on the side of the Tornadoes. But Hernandez returns to the court. He's had some hot and cold games, but overall, as someone that played outside and opposite for them, event 1, getting him in the other colored jersey has been a good upgrade, I think, for the team across the board. And delivers a good pass there to get a Bic route that hits the tape and no blocker. So Saquiel Sanchez with a hitting error there, and that's going to be a point for the Tyrants.
Yeah, no touch indicated off that one as it went off the equipment and out of bounds. A little bit of a misconnection there between Hardman and Sanchez. Again, not getting repetitions yesterday.
Bump set high, Roschitz swings lefty. Reset by Zachar Pasha. And there's another swing, and the combination of Tim Johnson and Zachar Pasha getting it done.
What an awesome matchup this is going to get to see is Tim Johnson against Steven Roschitz, right? Two very, very well-able jumpers.
Yep.
Steven Roschitz going left-handed on both of those swings, with Tim Johnson finally getting that final terminal block.
Dug by Real Vieira. Back set by Grasso to Johnson, and Johnson, he is living off the left hand of Steve Roschitz. That's the 3rd kill using the outside of that block. And, you know, a lot of hitters tend to give line first and make sure that the hitter proves they can hit it. I think you got to make the adjustment now. Johnson's living there.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, seeing the tendencies of guys and obviously having a strong scouting report coming into the match. You know, really understanding what the block and defense scheme looks like, where you want to line up your block against the hitters, and where your back row players are playing, and in order to counteract that. So something the Tornadoes really need to work on, I feel like, is being on the same page with their block and defense schemes.
And noticeably, we see a huge sub as Felix Chapman is substituted out for number 5, Sean Smith. Haven't seen Smith yet this tournament.
Especially in the front row as well.
Grasso gets a dig off Hernandez gets a dig off his chest. Tipped over the top and reset for Tornadoes to take a chance.
Yeah, we've got blow the whistle.
Little Was that a handset in front of the 10?
Yeah, it was. Handset in front of the 10-foot line to a front row hitter, but
he didn't jump. That's why he stayed on the ground.
Thank you, Nick.
I was trying to figure that back out.
Good
so that's
catch
why
by you. I missed that part of it.
Grosso, quick set to the out. Oh, to the 3 ball there, missed. Sorry, I was a little out of sorts. Okay, to explain what we were confused about. A libero, the opposite colored jersey, cannot set the ball with their hands if they stand in front of the 10-foot line. As a result, Steve Roschitz had to stand on the ground and not make an attack there. So that's what we're a little confused about, but we're back at it here. Aggressive float serve, forces an outside swing, but Tim Johnson more than happy to put that one away. And Johnson had a heck of a match yesterday and is picking it up right where he left it off. And that's going to put some pressure on the Tornadoes that they were maybe hoping to let that fall asleep for a little bit before it was right back on, full bore ahead.
Yeah, and especially with number 20 being on the bench, Felix Chapman, they're going to miss out on quite a substantial block, over there against Tim Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout this game.
Steve Roschitz now down by 5. He's a great way to start chipping back and get back into this league. Lead, and there it is.
That'll
That's
help
the pressure you want to see.
Yep.
Real Vieira, uncharacteristic ace against him. One of the most underspoken about players, a great defensive addition on this squad, as well as a rock in their serve receive.
Let's touch on Steven Roschitz really fast. He's well known in the Texas beach volleyball scene, but he did play some college volleyball at Graceland University, born and raised in Kansas City. You'll see him go ambidextrous, one of the few players in the league that can hit with equal power, whether it's the right arm or the left arm. We saw the first event, he was going mostly left-handed. I think he was dealing with some shoulder soreness or impingements in the right shoulder, and but really a key player for the Tornadoes as well. He's back row passer, strong blocker, obviously has a great jump serve that we just saw, although he missed his second one, but right there, number 69 in gray, getting a quick drink. His blocking is really improved as far as maybe an undersized outside hitter a little bit. Again, a great jumper, but he's really taking some of those beach blocking skills indoors here, where he's kind of showing line and then making a late dive into the angle, or vice versa. But when he's blocking up against Tim Johnson, who can jump so well, he's going to have a hard time. He doesn't need to go tight and make these big moves. He's just got to go nice and high and try to get a deflection, maybe get a couple blocks here and there. That's all he really needs. As long as he's disciplined with it, I think he can make a difference with that matchup there. But Steven Roschitz, really important player for the Tornadoes throughout this match to help them find their first win of the season here, Nick.
Yeah, certainly the case. And, no one better to talk about the understanding of beach skills and bring him indoor than you, as a guy that played at Cal State Long Beach and also spent a fair amount of time playing in the AVP.
It's, a lot of the skills that you play on both sides of the ball, whether it's indoors or on the beach or grass, it's all interchangeable, so you can pick up little things here and there, and it just really overall increases your volleyball IQ and skill set. Get out there and play everywhere you can.
I couldn't agree more, and playing here has resumed. Tip over the top, picked up by Robinson. Bump set to Johnson on the outside. Dug by Roschitz in the back row, and a back set. Smith with his first swing gets his turn. That's going to be a great way for him to get involved early, gets the boys a little bit fired up, and I think that's what Coach Quinones was looking to, kind of get started over there. Opurum with a float, taken by Robinson. Back set. Johnson dug by Roschitz and gets a second swing. Wow,
Never twice.
He's sitting at 6 kills already.
Never twice, he said.
It's incredible. And now comes that double sub. Isaiah Afaji in for Johnson and Daniel Jacobs. An equally threatening right side. It's incredible that they have two opposites who are so overbearing offensively. Jacobs was an NAIA kill leader during his time in college as well. It's going to be a swing, look like off the head of Maune.
Yeah, it looked like that one ricocheted off the dome there. But yeah, good to see the double sub being employed by Coach Grosso with his personnel, best use of his teammates.
Smith misses his jump serve long. And Texas Tyrants are holding on to that 5-point lead for now. Hand pass by Sanchez, bump set to Roschitz, and Roschitz goes long. No touch called there, and that's a point once again for the Tyrants.
Bit of a tough rotation here for the Tornadoes. You've got a front row setter in Hardman there, number 1. Not having Felix Chapman as a bailout player over there. Here comes Sanchez from the left.
And that one's in. Great swing into the corner. You know, that's one of those skills that coaches harp on all the time. I don't care if you can bounce a ball straight down. The deeper you swing, the harder it is to dig. So that's a great adjustment there from Sakiel. And
yeah,
nice
especially
skill
against a 3-man block. The value of being able to hit the back corner offensively really shown in that swing by Sanchez.
Grasso goes to the outside, and there's a shutdown block from Hardman and Rivera. A little bit of life over there. You'll love to see that happen. Now closing that back to 4 points, seeing if they can make this run continue on the back of the serving presence of Sanchez. Robinson takes the first ball, back set to Jacobs, and he might be the second opposite, but the pressure does not cease. Huge kill on the right side for number 16, Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah, strong right side attack there by Jacobs. Sean Smith in the right spot, just bounces off his wrists and goes out of bounds, but
Sanchez is going to force a free ball. Oh, little turn and swing, but Tyrants go back to Jacobs once again. The right side of Texas Tyrants is unstoppable.
Yeah, the Tornadoes really need to figure out how to slow down the right side hitters, both Jacobs and Johnson here, if they want to have a chance to make a difference.
Maune, one of the best servers for the Tyrants, creates runs regularly. Roschitz tries to keep that away with a little thumb down, tight set, but not able to do so.
Serves. Sorry, Nick, didn't mean to cut you off though. The Ryan Maune service game is really causing some problems for the Tornadoes. It seems to be going with that jump float down the line, targeting Steven Roschitz and the seam between himself and the libero Hernandez, and they're having a hard time taking care of that pass.
Yeah, that's one of those things that most serve receivers really hate about middles when they serve. Someone that naturally has so much height. A lot of middles like hitting that float serve because it comes from such a high point of contact. It doesn't have to go up before it goes over the net. It just comes straight down on a flat line, and it is so hard to find a good point of contact when you're passing that ball. And Maune is one of the best middle servers. Consistent, hits the same spot that he wants to every time, and he was absolutely destroying some teams here yesterday. So a great spot for him. Also, interestingly, he'll be playing that middle back defense, and Anthony Robinson will go to left back. So in the absence of a libero, they shift their outside over.
Yeah, interesting strategy there.
And there's the beach prowess you see. A little bit of court vision gives Roschitz the chance to chisel that off the outside of the block.
Sneaky little play there by Roschitz to kind of clean it up a little bit. Not the best set he was looking for. Able to make a kill out of it.
Grasso takes first ball, tips over the top, dug by Hardman. Smith second sets to Sanchez. One-handed dig by Afaji. Jacobs with a step close, dug. And after Smith digs that, 3 Tornadoes right there. Not able to figure out who's going to take that.
The Tornadoes really got to figure out how to play that ball. You got 3 guys standing right next to each other, and the ball falls between all 3 of them.
We're talking about how to get a stop on the right side, and Smith puts his helmet on, gets in there, gets a dig. You got to have someone ready to get that second touch.
Well,
wow, big serve from Jacobs. Yeah, it was from Jacobs. And it looks like the Tyrants are going to not undo the double sub with Quinones and Johnson. They're just going to let Isaiah Afaji and Jacobs kind of take this one home, get them some more court time.
Well, with a serve like that, why would you want to take them out?
Absolutely. They are quite the little 1-2 powerhouse duo, having that to Oppo's system. And Jacob's okay to miss that one. One of those ratios we talk about sometimes is acceptable ace to error ratio. Most programs or coaches say, you know, 1 ace to every 1.5 errors. Reason being is the rest of your serves that aren't aces are so there's so much pressure applied that's a ratio they like to see. And the other ratio you like to see is the fact that the Tyrants' right sides are hitting almost 1,000 combined. I think they were dug twice, once a piece, and I don't think we've seen any hitting errors. So
yeah, and I can't remember the Tornadoes getting any terminal blocks either against the right side hitters from the Tyrants. So well played first game by the Tyrants to come out of the gates with a good strategy, and obviously their right sides have been playing really well, and the Tornadoes really do need to figure out how they're going to slow down the right side attackers of the Tyrants, and also Ryan Maune out of the middle. So a well-rounded, well-played first game by the Texas Tyrants here in our first match of the day. Nick, what do you think so far?
Well, I think that so many of these teams, when you look from Event 1, Dallas Tornadoes realized they needed to overhaul the roster a little bit, bring in some more firepower, and that was a lot of their big adjustments. Now they're looking to gel. On the side of the Tyrants, they're one of, I think, 2 rosters that really didn't change personnel from Event 1 to Event 2, and instead they just continued building up their focus, their camaraderie, and how the team gels and clicks. So it really is showcasing here. One of the things that we weren't critical of but wanted to see more of from them in Event 1 was that middle presence. And now we're not only seeing that Maune and Austin Lovett answer that call, but now we're seeing a chance for Zachar Pasha to get involved today, and he's doing well there too. So already a pin-centric team. The more middle pressure they add, that only upgrades this team time and time again. So certainly a big threat for them. Now, on the side of the Dallas Tornadoes, you're the coach. You got to take those guys. What do you want to see?
Well, at this point, it's a little bit of do or die. I'd like to see some fire from their squad, you know, some kind of internal, you know, sense of urgency. They're down 0-5 on the season right now. They're the only winless team in the league.
Yep.
They found themselves already down 1-0 in this match, and they're staring at what could potentially be an 0-6 start, being the only team that's winless in the National Volleyball Association. So a little bit of self-pride should be on the line here. If I'm on that squad, I don't want to be the only team that hasn't won. And so this needs to be a little bit of a statement, I think, from their own players for the Tornadoes on how they respond to this and what they really want their identity to look like. After going 0-3 in the first event, coming back to event number 2 with some different faces and some new guys, if they were to go 0-3 on the second event as well, that's going to be a real shock to their system, I think.
I think you're dead on. And, you know, I thought the team we saw out there yesterday was clicking pretty well. Chike Oporum has had some big blocks for them. But I think Cologne has been one of their best middles, so if they're able to maybe get him involved, but he's still got his warm-up shirt on, so unlikely to be any change there. We also saw number 11 yesterday. Luna had replaced Sekiel Sanchez, and honestly, we couldn't say his name enough as the match progressed. He was passing well, getting kills where he needed them. So maybe a return of him, and Felix Chapman, I think, has to get back on the court.
I agree with you totally, Nick. I think they have the right pieces. I think they're just trying to figure out where they go on the court together and then how to make them fit with either the setting of either player for the Tornadoes. But you're going to see, you called it. Looks like Luna's going to come back out there, and get a look from him to see if he's ready to go after sitting that first game out. Felix Chapman's back on the court. Hardman's setting again. So a little bit of musical chairs a little bit for the Tornadoes in terms of personnel, but hopefully we'll see a different outcome here in set number 2.
Absolutely, and we've seen a little bit of a struggle to connect always with the setters, whether it's Kanairi, had a first great match, struggled a little bit yesterday, and they're going to Hardman here today. But, it's one of those things, I think those two are a little interchangeable. Maybe they're looking for some energy or a certain connections with certain hitters. I think the pressure here really comes down to their ability to pass. If that team is passing, Felix Chapman, was having a great day yesterday because they were passing well.
Yeah.
So I like Luna coming back in. Sanchez was having a little bit of difficulty there. Mm-hmm. And so, if you can anchor that passing a little bit, I think we're going to see Dallas Tornadoes put up a pretty solid fight here.
Excited to see what happens.
Quinones taking the first ball. And that's going to be Roschitz going into the angle. One-handed dig there by Real Vieira. Luna bumps that to Chapman. Chapman blocked and no cover at all. You talked about it yesterday, the importance of covering, 7, 8 feet and deeper. Talk about it there. What's your expectation for a team?
Yeah, that ball came back and landed at about 12 feet deep. Ball has to get covered. Okay, the balls that don't get covered, the straight down blocks, that's fine. You can give them that one. But any ball that comes back 5 feet off the net or more absolutely has to get covered by your squad.
Totally the case there, and as a middle, you understand better than most when you don't get that set. Part of your responsibility is turn and cover your pin, whoever's hitting. So definitely a great little nugget there. And now we're going to see Hardman serving. Quick set to the middle, and that's coming right over here to us and saying hello. That's going to be a nice kill for the side of the Tyrants. I believe that was Zachar Pasha getting one of his first kills, number 2.
And we've been talking about sort of highlighting the passing struggles of the Tornadoes, as you see it right there again as well. It's not going to get any easier for them, as Tyrants are one of the better serving teams here in the league.
And Zachar Pasha getting involved. We talk so much about the importance of establishing a middle here for the Tyrants, and they're doing right off the bat. That's back-to-back kills for Zachar Pasha.
Yeah, getting Pasha involved and aggressively attacking the ball, especially in transition, is definitely going to pay off for the Tyrants.
Grasso had a little bit of serving trouble yesterday, but again, he's one of those guys that you can't get lost in the service errors because his overall ace and pressure presence is pretty significant for the serving side of the Tyrants offense. Roschitz with a great serve deep, leaves Robinson as the only option. And that's going to funnel just down the front of the Chapman-Rivera block. Robinson had a tough pass but bailed himself out. I said Chapman, Robinson, sorry. Pasha back to serve, brings Maune to the front row. A lot of movement on that ball. Unfortunately, a lot of it was sending it about 10 feet out of the back of the court.
Better than missing it in the net.
Give everyone a chance. Rivera finds his jump serve this time. Quick set to the middle. Maune covers himself, set over by Johnson. Thrown to the back court, but Grasso ready to pick it up. Quinones feeds the middle again. Chapman tips over the top, covered by Grasso. To the backside, and Johnson's train rolls on.
If I'm the Tyrants right now, I'm going to keep feeding that train. More coal in the engine, right?
Yep.
Get that thing rolling a little bit faster. He's going to be obviously a key component to this squad and this victory if they're able to pull it off. But to this point, the Tornadoes have no answer for Tim Johnson.
Certainly the case. And see if Luna off the bench. Wow, that's a great swing, avoiding the block, working into that sideline seam. That's the fire we wanted to see. Great contribution there from number 11.
Yeah, his first attack of the day, that was a nice swing. We saw him play yesterday, but a little bit slow out of the gates. Seeing his opportunity now as his number got called in game number 2, taking full advantage of it as Chapman misses his jump serve a bit long.
And I think it's a weird spot or a tough spot to be in, but I think that Dallas Tornadoes servers like Chapman and Roschitz, they've got to keep hammering those jump serves. Even if they're going to miss them, they're going to need the pressure to try and rattle the Tyrants' service eve.
Yeah, and it translates to their offense attacking as well. Gets them a little bit of a rhythm, and
nice up by Hardman.
Keeps them on point.
Dumped over by Quinones. The dump is not read early enough to be picked up there by Chapman. And we're seeing some moments of life from the side of the Tornadoes, but still just not able to string it together for the point that they're going to need. Robinson float taken by Eduardo Hernandez. Bump sets off the net. But Luna's able to squeak it over. And That's what Luna was so integral in doing for this team yesterday. He's a very, very steady player, low risk, high reward kind of guy that he knows his role. So the fact that he's already contributed 2 kills here really speaks to the value he's going to continue to bring in this set. Good block touch, reset. Tight ball, and this is going to be tipped over by Johnson. Hardman goes outside to Roschitz. Swings high off, and Real Vieira unable to come up with that one, albeit a great effort. The hard hand of number 69, Steve Roschitz, able to earn that point.
Yeah, nice run down there by the Tyrants, but give the kill credit over to Roschitz and that nice high swing in transition. Luna now continuing to contribute from the end line here. Tornadoes only down by 1.
Real Vieira takes first ball outside to Grasso, dug by Hernandez. Hardman lays it up for Chapman, and Chapman tees off, but it's going to be tracked down by Robinson and freeballed over by Real Vieira. Tornadoes get another chance. Back to Chapman once again, and this time there's no chance. That's the line swing that he couldn't find yesterday, but he certainly finds it there. Absolutely hammers that into the ground in front of number 27.
Great defense by both sides there, getting some good scoops, taking some good heat, seeing Hernandez get a nice dig. The Tornadoes need that.
Quick middle set to Maune. Hardman's going to lay it up to Chapman once again, and this one just misses wide.
Nice to see Felix Chapman trying to find that line swing. We did mention that quite a bit yesterday if you were watching this match. He could not hit line yesterday, but successful in the first one. Unfortunately, just missing that second line attack as well. We've reached our first technical timeout, Nick. A little bit of a turnaround here, so the Tornadoes playing a little bit stronger. As you see Coach Grasso talking with his setter there about maybe who they want to target in terms of the blockers of the Tornadoes versus their Tyrant hitters.
Yeah, and I think that's been one part, a key part here as the Storm is continuing to grow a little bit for the side of the Tornadoes is they're getting some block touches. They're slowing down Grasso a little bit. Johnson's having to tip and roll a couple balls over the top, and as long as you're not having every single ball hit at you uncontested, these teams are going to find defensive stops. So, good sealed block moves is going to really help slow this down and put Tornadoes right back in the match like they are.
I like the way you said that as the Storm starts brewing for the Tornadoes.
We got some great names, some great brands here in the NVA. You gotta use them where they're available. So
we're just getting started too, Nick.
Oh, that we are. I can't wait to see as the league grows, maybe get some new teams in here, see what future brands join the NVA. So fans at home, if you're in a variety of different states or different regions of volleyball, be sure to keep your eye out, because as the NVA grows, so too do the teams that become available to cheer for. Set to the outside here, and Roschitz gets the job done. This is what we wanted to see, and he was doing so well yesterday. And it's all off the back of improved passing. They're putting themselves in system, giving Hardman a chance to set his offense, and Jeffrey Hardman is delivering.
Yeah, the service pressure from the Tyrants has been turned down a notch a little bit, and the Tornadoes' passes have been up at the top of the tape, giving Hardman an opportunity to run a good offense.
Set to the outside, Grasso goes to the chop down the line, does not find the hands, and there's a little bit of that disciplined blocking we're wanting to see. Grasso has some of the best court vision, so if he's seeing line, likely his angle's being taken away and looking for something else. So great move by the Tornadoes, and they take the lead for the first time, 9-8. Hand pass, Quinones goes to the outside, and Grasso one-on-one is going to win that battle every time.
That was a nice play by the Tyrants there. Great pass. Pasha ran a back one, bit of a decoy, took the Tornado middle blocker with him, giving Grasso a one-on-one opportunity, and he took full advantage of it.
Pass by Eduardo Hernandez high, goes back set to Chapman. Chapman dug there by Quinones. Robinson with an aggressive approach line, dug by Chapman outside to Roschitz. Roschitz hammers that one off, and the defensive prowess of Robinson unable to come up with that. And the hammer of Roschitz is in full effect right now. He's got 3 kills this set so far, and he is really utilizing a variety of swings and angles to attack the block here of the Texas Tyrants. Deep float by Hardman, pass by Real Vieira. Back set to Grasso, and Grasso hammers that one down the line. If you guys don't follow the NVA on Instagram, check out NVA USA. You'll see one of the most impressive bounces in the league in Event 1 as Grasso went down the line one-on-one against OC Centers outside Matt Hilling. It was quite an impressive swing. Check out a variety of our Instagram channels and NVA USA. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on alerts. Plenty of YouTube coming to you, even when the events are not live. We've got our Quest for the Cup series, always a fun one to check out. Back into the action here with Steve Roschitz ready to serve. Misses that one short. He's been quite effective so far, so those misses will come. But that's going to be a tied score at 11-all. Zachar Pasha with the float. Sent the last one long, but finds the target there. Tornadoes in a little bit of a chaos ball, but that is where Steve Roschitz thrives. He gets around that, bump set coming from behind him and swings into the deep corner. The trash collector, the man is picking up kills left and right, using his left and right. Love to see it from number 69, Steve Roschitz. Hammered serve by Rivera. Johnson dug by Hardman. Roschitz takes second ball. Chapman closes around that one, goes over the triple block, Maune to the outside. And that's going to be low into the tape. Johnson cooling off a little bit, and the Tornadoes are ready to take full advantage.
Yeah, very interesting to see here. The Tornadoes now with a 2-point lead. A bit unconventional with some of their point scoring, but they're being successful with it. And the Tyrants now scrambling a little bit.
Rivera doesn't find the toss he likes, but adjusts well, and Maune goes over Chike Opurum to the 10-foot line tee where Hardman is waiting but unable to be successful with the dig.
Haven't said Maune's name much in the second set so far because the passing of the Tyrants is kind of broken down, but
yeah, they started off early with a ton of middles and then cooled off after about 6 points into the game, so good to see that return. Roschitz finally stopped him once again. We're going to say his name, number 15, Ryan Maune, getting the job done. Helped out on the left side block there from Robinson. A great stop by that duo. Tied up at 13 once again. Float taken by Hernandez. Back to Chapman, and there's that hard 2-2. That's what they needed. That was some of that right side pressure. And what's so important is not only the kill contribution, but with him doing that, that's going to open up both Luna and Roschitz on the left side of the court to not get triple blocked every time.
Yeah, that was a big swing there by Felix Chapman as he goes to the back row, but Maune answers back nicely.
Maune is having a fantastic match so far. And that's one of those things, middles only being on the front row for 3 rotations, no opportunities for back row attacks. Their ability to contribute kills similar to pin hitters is significantly lessened, but Maune's offensive capabilities felt all the same. Hand pass by Eduardo, and Chike Opurum gets his kill there. Love to see number 13 contributing offensively with his first kill of the match.
Definitely someone that the Tyrants will need to rely on throughout this match for some middle hitter production.
That's just long by less than a sport court tile there.
Luna frustrated with himself after missing that serve, but we'll see Maune trying to continue his little ride here from the end line.
Good hand pass by Eduardo. Tried to be dumped by Hardman and reset. Roschitz swings on 2. Quinones throws it back to Johnson. And Johnson hammers that line through the one-on-one block of Roschitz. Johnson's starting to get warm here in the second once again.
Give credit to that set from a running away from the player, shovels it all the way back. Tim Johnson just flying out of the back row and getting a strong kill down the line. It was a huge point for the Tyrants going into this technical timeout.
And you see Johnson there on the screen, but notably to his left is also setter number 10, Quinones, who has so much faith that he can just throw a ball back pretty much at any height off the net or any distance off the net, and Johnson's going to get there. We saw one yesterday that it was about 1.5 feet off the net. Johnson was back row and hit it like it was a 5.
Yeah, really the only problem that Johnson can get into is if the set's too low.
Yeah,
I mean, let the kid fly, let him go up there and get it, and just let him eat.
One of the things.
No reason to set him too low. Just tee it up for him, and he can go get it.
Yeah, and to build on that, one of the things that the only real detriment to players when you toss the set up that high is how well does the hitter time their jump to it. And that is not an issue for Tim Johnson. He knows that he flies, and he times it well.
Good point, Nick.
Now we're going to see Maune with that float serve, just causing problems left and right coming out of the second technical timeout. Bump set goes back to Chapman, dug by Johnson. Hand pass by Eduardo. Roschitz hammers a ball that's dug by Robinson. Maune's going to send this one over short. Big swing high off the block. Roschitz once again showing that he's ready to battle it out as an answer to the offensive presence of Johnson. Number 69 having a great set 2 so far.
Nice response here by the Tornadoes. 16 all midway through the second set.
Back one there, dug by Luna, coming in one-handed. Chapman swings, does not clear the tape. And that was a little bit of an interesting thing that we saw. I'll touch on it in a minute. Depending on our camera angles, if we're able to get a shot of number 1 or number 10, probably going to be easier with number 10 as he's going to be facing the camera. So the next time the Dallas Tornadoes serve, I want to look at the hands of the setter. It's one of those things you watch, if you're a fan of football and you see how they call their plays, they have their huddles. In volleyball, setters call it with their hands, so you're going to see him let his hitters know what routes he wants to run, and so that's all used by a number system on the hands of the setters. So we'll check that out. It's kind of an interesting little tidbit if you're unfamiliar with volleyball. And Roschitz, that one is not going to go for him.
Wow, Nick.
If you hit hard, you're going to get blocked hard, and Tim Johnson was tired of seeing the big swings. Block closed there by Zakir Pasha, sorry. We talked about this. It's Zakir Pasha. Float serve taken by Hernandez. Chapman once again, and there's a return fire. Chapman was so desperately missed, and right now we're seeing that huge offensive pressure from the right side returning to the court in number 20. Short float from Hardman is missed.
It just lets the steam, the wind out of the sails there. Miss a jump float into the net like that from your setter.
Yep, and now Tyrants take a 2-point lead. And that's a tough miss for that reason. Otherwise, that could be an 18-18 score.
Yeah.
One option on the outside. Chapman dug by Rivera.
Close play there.
Zakir Pasha tries to keep that one alive. He's the only one in the same area as that ball as it comes quickly off of the chest from Rivera's dig there. And now Roschitz, who missed his last serve, but has been a great server all the same this match. Good pass by Grasso to the outside, and Robinson with that crafty little chip down the line.
Great shot by Robinson there to get that ball. Sort of goes off speed, choppy down the line, hits the corner. Really well played by him.
It's one of those zones when you've got a setter back there. Setters always want to try to get back into their offensive position on the front row as quick as possible, so sometimes that can be exploited, and Robinson does it well there. Roschitz passes, and Chapman scooped with a one-handed stab there by Grasso, and it turns into a right side swing. Johnson finishes what Grasso started. What a dig.
Having Tim Johnson on the right there. First of all, Grasso with the one-handed stab dig that goes ricocheting back into the net. I couldn't see who set the ball, but Tim Johnson was ready and waiting as he delivers on the scoop and kill. What a play by the Tyrants. Bit of a backbreaker maybe, Nick.
Oh, man, that feels terrible. If you're a hitter that puts that much pace on a ball, when you hit a ball that hard, you kind of almost expect that even if it gets touched, there's no chance that you can correct that and corral it back into the court. But Grasso is – there could be a case to be made that Grasso is the best defensive outside in the league.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, he's as good as any libero, and he just, digs that one right back into the net, keeps it alive, and wow.
I'm pretty sure he did play some libero during his college time at USC. Maybe due to his size, but obviously his passing capabilities. He's a great offensive weapon, as we can see and have been seeing. But, yeah, defensively, that's an amazing dig by him just then.
Zachar Pasha now float serve into the net out of that timeout. Coaching point. You see a little acknowledgement on the bench over there. You always joke a lot of timeouts get used to slow a team down, maybe ice a server, and see if you can just kind of establish a game plan. And right there, you get the missed serve, and that's as good as a real one from the coach. Riviera jump serve. Returned by number 15, Ryan Maune. Can't say his name enough. He's getting damage done, connecting well with the setters right now from the Tyrants, and love to see that.
Big contributions from Maune as well. It is nice to see a middle being involved offensively, defensively, in the back row, getting a couple digs here and there, going on some service runs. So, key player for the Tyrants.
And now you get that double sub. Afaji and Jacobs return to the court. Maune not quite able to corral that one, and that's going to be a kill for the Tornadoes at a critical moment. Down by 2.
Felix Chapman now. He's got to find something. Manufacture a point scoring opportunity here. Try to put the Tyrants on their heels a little bit.
Gets a bounce off the tape. Run to Maune. Blocked and reset. Maune once again, and he's their guy. I mean, we always talk about the importance of a middle because the more you can run a middle, it makes Johnson, Jacobs, Robinson, and Grasso's life so much easier. But Maune right now is an offensive threat that the Tornadoes don't seem to have an answer to, and that's going to get another timeout called at 23-20.
Yeah, Nick, I was going to agree with you on that. Kind of the difference of this game so far has been the middle production of Ryan Maune for the Tyrants, and the Tornadoes not really having an answer for him. Especially right there, you went back-to-back attempts, getting a kill in that second one, but the blocking of Ryan Maune has really helped their squad. Number 15 there in orange is who we're talking about. But offensively speaking, from the very beginning of the match, he's been involved, and really the Tornadoes have no answer for him.
They don't, and there's 3 critical components, in my opinion, where you see the X-factor middle succeed. And the parts to that are when you're seeing a team that can dig in transition and give your setter a ball that they can deliver to the middle. That's part 1. Part 2, do you have a middle that's working hard time and time again? And part 3 is, do you have a setter that trusts their middle? So even when he gets blocked in that first attempt, you go right back. And that's the setter IQ that both Quinones and Afaji have for the Tyrants. A lot of trust, a lot of steady defense, so it's working well. And a huge ace there from Robinson. Puts us at set point. And a big swing from Roschitz, who is determined to keep this one alive for at least another point. Tornadoes knocking on that door. Maybe a late game run. They can still make something happen here. Float serve. Afaji goes backside. Jacobs. Ooh. A big block attempt there by Roschitz one-on-one, but Jacobs just too much heat. And that's going to go set 2 to the Tyrants.
You know, the Tornadoes, they started that game out well. They showed a little bit of urgency. You know, unfortunately, they just couldn't maintain it. Their passing broke down at the end. Some great plays by the Tyrants that the Tornadoes just couldn't answer. And again, we've been talking about it throughout this match. The Tornadoes need a little bit of a self-check in the mirror, like what are they going to do right now? They're down 2-0. They're facing a sweep. They're looking at it straight in the face. Are you going to step up to the plate, figure out a way to play a little bit stronger, come together as a group, or are you going to just kind of roll over and just let the Tyrants kind of keep doing what they're doing? So going to be interesting to see here. Not too sure what the answer is really, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not either, but, it's one of those things. I think the Tornadoes are still playing well, but I think that the hardest part to this is the serve receive of the Tyrants. You're putting so much pressure on the Tornadoes to serve aggressively because they're passing so well. And so even when you're getting those stops time and time again, the Tyrants are now able to just constantly find the hitters they want. And even when they slow down just a hair in the beginning, they come on late because their passing is still where they need it. And now all of a sudden, Ryan Maune comes up with 3 or 4 kills out of the middle, and it's just when you're getting middle kills, that speaks to the quality of passing, and they could not get them out of system. So It's a tough spot because the Tornadoes, Chapman, Roschitz, they're hammering serves.
Right. And we talked about it. They just haven't really had an answer for the Tyrants' middle attack. They haven't had a counter attack out of the middle as well. So figuring out how to stop Ryan Maune in the Tyrants' middle and then not really having much production out of their own middles has been a little bit of a double negative for them moving out through this match. And can they fix it in game number 3? It's kind of hard to say. Traditionally, it doesn't look like they have a lot of great connections between Hardman and their middles, but they're going to have to see. They got to do something here to change the tide a little bit.
Yeah, and it's something you have to look at the score at 25-21. Roschitz had a phenomenal game. Chapman, a ton of kills to contribute. So you're seeing both those guys really offensively deliver. Now, Luna contributed 1 or 2, and he didn't make any hitting errors. So that's a huge boost. But maybe 1 or 2 more from him, 1 or 2 more from the middle, and now you've closed that gap. Right, you're back at a tied score. And so it's all about, can that next tier level of players start to get their kills here and there. And that's what's so important is on the side of the Tyrants, when Jacobs comes in, Robinson able to get a stop once or twice, Maune in the middle, those kind of secondary guys to Grasso and Johnson, they are delivering. They're a constant in that offense.
Yeah, I think, it'd be nice to see what the deal is with Cologne on the Tornadoes. We saw him play yesterday, but not playing today. I don't know what's going on there. We have no backstory on why he's not, on the court, but that could be a huge piece that's missing for the Tornadoes. We'll see if Luna comes back in. But at this point, like we said, the Tornadoes, they really got to find something here. It's a little bit of a do-or-die moment now as they are facing possibly being the only winless team in the NBA through the second event.
Yeah, and just for the kind of the sake of the team and their emotions, I would love to see what happens here if they pick up a win, and not just kind of just for the sanity check a bit. Like, what happens when the Tyrants if they take a loss? I want to see how they respond. I want to see the Tornadoes get a chance to extend this. So, just as a fan of the sport and the league, it would be great to see Tornadoes pick up a win here, and we'll see if they're able to do it. A dig here from Hardman. Inside set, and that's going to be Roschitz free-balling it over, taking Quinones out. Zacher sets to the outside, and Grasso terminally blocked. And that was an unfortunate one. You see, everyone was set for covers there. We talked about, the responsibility to cover. That one just happened to kind of fall right into that zone where everyone was ready and just not quite able to find it quick enough.
Yeah. Good break there for the Tornadoes. They're going to need every single one of them if they want to pull off the reverse sweep here, but
well, there's a break they're going to take. A great serve short. Takes, making Zacher Pasha pass that ball, gets the overpass. And the middle, front row, I think that was Opurum that hit that one back. Couldn't tell if it was him or Chapman that finally got their hand on it. They both jumped. But nice serve by Hardman. Now he goes deep. It's got to be a bus set back, and there's the smooth operator, number 9, Grasso, throws it off the outside hand.
Just so nonchalantly wipes that ball right off the block of Roschitz. Like it's just, ho-hum, here's a little right off the block there.
Just a little flick of the wrist. Now Grasso hits the float. Low pass, an option. And that's going to be terminal block there. A little combination. Robinson is another one of those smaller outsides, but as you talk about a role player, his defensive prowess, his effort on tracking balls down, and his blocking skills are really quite impressive. And he does a lot for the team in those zones, and they really rely on him in that 0-2 position to do so. That swing is going to go just wide for Chapman. Grasso puts once again. Dug by Quinones. Riviera upset, and Grasso tries to roll over.
Ooh.
A little bit of tough tape bounce leaves that one hard to be dug by the Tornadoes.
The Tyrant on a nice 4-point run here, trying to get some technical difficulties taken care of on our scoreboard, but it's 4 serving 2 now. As Grasso continues with his little run, and that one goes out on long as I jinxed him on that one.
That's what we live for. When we're over here just chatting about it, we love to throw some.
Just trying to make an impact in the game,
Yeah, doing our best. Roschitz with a big swing. Good pass by Grasso, a little tight, but Zachar Pasha ready to get that reward. And sometimes when you see a tight set, a tight pass, the biggest thing is if the setter has time to get there, it's a great time to run the middle because it's gonna, you have to respect, is that ball coming over the net? If the setter's front row, are they gonna dump? There's just a variety of options, and Zachar Pasha there to provide an offensive option for Quinones. Ooh, there's the double block of Maune and Robinson, and we keep saying his name, but Maune contributing once again. Everybody on a team has their role. You need Johnson to be putting up big kill numbers, Grasso to be getting, stops back row and kills front row, but Maune contributing offensively and defensively right now, putting up a heroic effort in the middle.
Heroic effort.
Absolutely heroic.
Again, back-to-back blocks for Ryan Maune.
A hero is someone you can count on to get the job done, and he does it back-to-back there. Maune shutting down the middle for the Tornadoes. A chip over the top picked up by Johnson. Quinones goes to the back row. Grasso and finds that kill, but it looked like a back row attack. Yep, there it is. You saw it early.
Tornadoes got let off the hook on that one. I don't necessarily like that shot by Felix Chapman. A bit of a roll shot after getting that stuff down, but Grasso just stepping on the 3-meter line on that back row attack in transition and giving the point back to the Tornadoes.
And really quick, I want to take a breather. We've talked a little bit about the importance of Tornadoes trying to get a win here. But so far, the Tyrants are 3-2, and the only 2 losses they have are to the Utah Stingers and the Las Vegas Ramblers, 2 of the best teams in the league. So a win here going forward in 2 is going to really put them in contention at one of the top spots in the league as well. So there's a lot of importance for them to get that win, but there's the middle kill we want to see. Riviera getting involved, number 9. Apologies, Rivera. Added an extra I there. Angel Rivera, number 9 there for the Tornadoes. Float serve from Opurum. Quick feed to Maune, dug by Roschitz. Outside to Luna. Luna dug by Riviera. Set to Robinson, chips over the top.
Oh gosh. Not calling it. Not calling that one either.
And Johnson swings off the block and sending a ball over here into the production team. Now we've talked about doubles being some of those, one of those things that different refs are calling different ways. Overall, the league stance is to, You know, we want to let the guys play as much as possible. That second one there on the side of the Tornadoes is a little bit tough, but they let it go all the same. And honestly, with a sport that can be stop and go at times, I tend to I enjoy letting the play go as much as justifiably possible.
Well, it's a fine line also for the officiating team, how much involvement they want to be. You know, I think their philosophy is that they don't want to be involved, right? They don't want to be the ones that stop the play, right? This is high-level professional men's volleyball in the United States. Let the players do the talking. If there's a situation that the referees have to officiate and blow the whistle on something like that, then so be it. But on a situation like that, that's not something that the play has to end because of maybe a mishandled ball. But in that instance, I think it was good to continue to play on.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, we've got so many guys out here with so much physicality. Let's let them play. Let's see what they can do. 8-5 here in the third. Tornadoes still in a position that they're able to strike back. We want to see them answer out of this first technical timeout. And while the teams retake the court, I do want to say a huge shout out to the proud sponsors, the NVA, that's Mikasa, the ball sponsor here. Always thankful for them supplying us with plenty of balls to put on an event like this. Also Harris Casino for hosting us this weekend. And finally JBJ Events, one of the best youth sport events you can get involved with here on the East Coast, partnering with us and helping us put this event on, so thanks to them. Float from Johnson goes long in the technical timeout, ices him, and Tornadoes say thank you. We're happy to put our right side on the back line. Chapman ready to take some big swings.
The curse of the technical timeout there.
Yep. Huge swing. Robinson gets a hold of it, and there's Maune squeaking another one through.
Great serve there by Chapman, but better side out by the Tyrants is continuing to say Ryan Maune's name throughout this match. The middle blocker just making huge contributions for the Tyrants.
Now you see Quinones is setting up a screen. Robinson goes after the hands of Roschitz. And there it is once again. Maune with the third terminal block. Shuts down Rivera in the middle. A little bit of help there on the side from Grasso as well. Great recognition as the hitter came into his blocking zone. Gets up and is there to help out. Robinson goes after Hernandez. Bumps that to the outside. Luna swings, and Maune and Quinones once again.
Well, we've been talking a lot about covering. That one is a little bit of a tweener, kind of came off slow. You'd like to see someone react. Luna begging his teammates to help him out on that one, but unfortunately another block goes against them. Luna gets another chance, and he can't clear the net on that three-man block attempt from the Tyrants. So back-to-back errors for the Tornadoes. As Robinson continues to serve. This nice little run happening, and we get a timeout called, Nick.
Perfect. And that was, I was expecting it. And the one I was about to mention, the one thing I want to talk about in our next timeout is we talk about triple blocks, and I want to hear from your side as a middle blocker, the general of the block. What do you expect? How do you talk about a triple block? When do you use one? Can you help provide a little more insight on that?
Yeah, I think that comes directly from the team's overall philosophy on block and defense, right? And knowing what hitters are in what rotations for the opposing team, okay? So if there's going to be a bad pass, the setter's way off the net past the 10-foot line, you instantly need to think about going a three-man block, and that's communication amongst your blockers, right? The third blocker coming over needs to be loud, saying that they're coming too, so that the outside pin blocker can get all the way out to the pin and really getting those six hands right in front of the hitter, right, and offering no alleys for him to hit through. So really comes down to communication, but also what the philosophy is on the block and defense side, strategies for that team.
Love to hear it. Matt Prosser dropping the knowledge. Middle blockers, take note. We're going to get back into this one now with Anthony Robinson serving. Hernandez with a little bit of an off pass and one option, and Luna making another unforced hitting error. That's three in a row, two in the net, one into the block. He's struggling right now.
A little bit of deja vu right there, as a bad pass resulted in another three-man block in front of Luna and another Luna hitting error.
Robinson's serving run continues. See the Tyrants setting up a screen on the right side of the net there. Chapman rolls it over, picked up by Robinson. Quinones feeds, he puts that one on a thread trying to find Maune, since Maune's had nothing but success so far.
Unfortunately for Ryan Maune, that's going to hurt his hitting statistics, although I don't really necessarily like Quinones forcing that set to him. I understand why he did, but unfortunate misconnection.
Now to the outside, recycled there, Riviere with a cover. Robinson not ready for that back row set, tips it over. And now there's a middle swing by Rivera from the Tornadoes. Quinones goes up, finds Maune again. And even on a low set, we see Maune just drop his elbow and swing deep.
Yeah, great adjustment by Ryan there, mid-air. Running that 31 in transition, I think he told Quinones to get him a little bit higher on that set, really more into his window, but nice adjustment by Ryan Maune.
Maune goes deep, just misses long. And now we're sitting at a 6-point lead here as the Tornadoes score their 8th point. That'll be updated momentarily, and Rivera looks for his jump serve. That one goes wide, and we're at 15-8. Tyrants are starting to run away with this one. We are 1 point away from the second technical timeout here if the Tyrants score the next one. Overpass, Grosso swings, and that's going to. What just hit? Who that hit?
Oh, poor right there at the 13, the middle blocker for the Tornadoes. He was trying to get out of the way as Grosso unloaded on that overpass, and it bounced either. I couldn't really tell. It looked like the back of the head or maybe the shoulder, but it came off with some heat up into the rafters and technically went out of bounds as that ball's not playable, but.
Gives us a great opportunity to talk about one of our very minor NVA-specific rules. We tend towards the FIVB rule book. The only adjustment is our ceilings are not dead unless the ball hits them on the way over the net. Otherwise, if you dig a ball and it hits the ceiling, ball is still live so long as you're able to track it down. So since we play in a variety of venues that we can't control the ceiling at all times, we said, again, it's all about letting the guys play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's a great kind of rule to employ here. Is if the ball hits the roof and stays on your side and comes back down, it's still alive. But if it hits a roof on the way over, it's going to be a dead ball and technically considered out of bounds. We've seen it come into play a little bit yesterday. Not a ton of action, but does add for a little bit of drama as someone makes a nice dig and it hits the ceiling and comes back down on their same side. The ball's still live and able to be played.
It always adds a little bit of fun chaos when you get a ball hit hard enough that the dig sends it into the ceiling. People are already going to be scrambling, so everyone starts moving around a little bit more. All right, 16-8. The Tyrants have doubled the Tornadoes up.
There's Gabo Quinones out of IPFW and Puerto Rico, the setter for the Tyrants.
Dug by Johnson, and Quinones takes the second ball. Goes backside to Johnson once again, and there's a huge swing down the line. Once again, that ball is spinning sideways, but you've got a good contact. It's going in with the same grain of the flow there, so no call, and I love it. Let the guys play.
Let them play, Nick. Let them play. The purists out there might be a little upset with it, but that's how you get better, and sports evolve, and that's just sort of how it is right now. So let them play.
Where you'll tend to see the call made is when people are outside kind of the center of their body, so off of a shoulder or something like that.
Yes.
And that's where they get a spin off that ball.
Yes.
That's where it's going to get called. But if you're a center body, you get the movement there. Rarely are we going to see that called.
Yes.
A swing down the line, not able to connect, and we see a little bit of a double sub now coming in. We see Kanairi making his return alongside number 5, I believe that's Smith. Quinones with a float serve, one-handed dig to follow it up. Riviere with a bump set back, step close from Grosso, rolled over the top, dug by Kanairi. tough ball to get to, and a left-handed tip trying to keep it alive, but a disciplined block there from the side of the Tyrants to not net.
And unfortunately for the Tornadoes, the sun is starting to set, it looks like here now, down by 11. Slightly insurmountable lead to come back from. Win percentage probabilities are heavily favored over to the Tyrants at the moment.
Set to the outside, and deep swing picked up by Robinson. Now Grasso swings, that one's off the head of Opurum, dug and picked up by Hernandez. Opurum tries to jam that one, covers himself, or covered by his setter there, Kanairi. Set to Robinson on the backside, and a little bit of a misconnection. You know, no connection there, but that's a set they don't usually use Robinson for. So I like using this lead to get some in-game reps to see what that system looks like. It's a good usage there by Quinones, and even if it doesn't work out. Jump serve handled by Rivera inside the 10, and that's a quick back set to Grasso. Grasso, they love moving Grasso around, and that's a little bit of a back two inside drift for him there, just approaching at a hard angle and changes the angle at which blockers have to defend from his swing.
Yeah, I'd like to see them maybe start that a little bit earlier in the match. They tend to only do it when they're up big, but very dangerous weapon that they could incorporate into a normal serve reception side out kind of game.
It is, and it's one of those things, I agree with you actually, and I think a lot of, you kind of mentioned it earlier, purists like just your standard 4-1-5. I like some of those combos that are very rarely seen just because it changes things up, but people tend to have a revisionist view of them that even if they don't work after the fact, they weren't worth it, and I don't agree with that. So
yeah. It's one of those situations that you can't always do all the time. It's, you know, volleyball is a very situational sport based on the set and sort of what's happening within the game. But as long as a team is attempting to do it and sort of growing their offensive schemes, I think it's a good thing.
Roschitz with the jump once again. Bounces off the tape. Handled by Rivera. Backside to Johnson, and Johnson hammers that one. Not able to be corralled by Roschitz. Earlier I talked a little bit about when you hit a ball hard enough, you kind of expect that maybe it's not going to be diggable, and that's one of those swings right there.
Yeah, it's a hard and heavy swing that was not returnable.
Zachar Pasha with a float, bounced off the tape, taken by Eduardo Hernandez outside. And there's going to be a net from the side of the Tyrants.
Tim Johnson saying he did in fact touch the net, no argument there.
We're seeing another outside in now for the Tornadoes. That's going to be number 4, Luis Vasquez. He's played as a serving sub periodically, but looking for another solution here, or maybe just give guys a chance to see some court. Robinson puts it up high, bump set right back to Robinson from Grasso, and Robinson goes through the triple block.
Great set by Grasso. Great set. He took a bit of a chance, a little gamble, really tried to get Robinson all the way up there, which he did. Robinson said, "Thank you very much, Gian," and I will slam this ball down with as if there was no triple block in front of me.
There's such a great 1-2 punch. They went out, hugged that one out. A lot of mutual respect. Their effort is unrivaled as a 1-2 combo outside. Kanairi threads that one beautifully to the outside. Dug back row by Afaji, tipped over the top by Robinson and covered. Kanairi outside once again, tipped and covered by Robinson. Back set to Jacobs, chipped over the top. A lot of roll shots coming through. And now Roschitz tries to take a swing, not able to corral that one, and that is going to be a 23-12 lead for the Tyrants.
This match is all but over.
It is. I love to be the optimist and find ways back in, but I think the sun is set over the Lone Star State here. Rivera gets another kill. But right now you have to, the Tornadoes have to put together a 12-point service run, basically. And that's just not going to happen.
No, it is not.
Canary with a float to Grosso. One-handed set. Maune shut down there by a double block of the Tornadoes. Float once again, taken by Grosso outside. And Jacobs gets a nice swing that's dug out and gets a repeat set. Tries to throw that one in, covers himself. And there is Maune getting up there and shutting down the over attempt. A net was called, but whether it was the net or the block, the point was destined to end.
And we have match point for the Tyrants here.
Tipped over the top. Real Vieira keeps that one alive. And now Grosso with a big swing. There's a nice dig from Roschitz. Hernandez keeps that one off the ground, tipped over. Back set to Jacobs. One-handed block touch there by Smith. Another swing attempt. Maune keeps it over the net. Maune goes up once again. And the big man in the middle, number 15, establishes his keep in the middle. And that's a huge stop there and a big win for the Texas Tyrants. Dallas Tornadoes fall 0-6 with the Tyrants going to 4-2. A great showing and a great weekend here for the Tyrants. After starting the season 1-2 with arguably the hardest lineup a team could ask for or hope to avoid, they now go 3-0 on the weekend. I believe one of only 2 teams with even the chance to do so. Team Freedom still in a chance to do that. And I am now about to be joined by the unarguable man of the match, Mr. Ryan Maune, number 15 in orange. It is so rare to see a middle be able to make an impact that is so notable, but he was working pin to pin. He was shutting down the middle of the Dallas Tornadoes. He was working for kills in and out, hitting off of both setters there from Isaiah Afaji. But we are here now live. Ryan Maune, man of the match.
Hey, sorry, a little out of breath.
Oh, really? Because I couldn't tell. It was hard to see if you were putting in work out there. Ryan, when you're prepping for a match like this, it's an opportunity for you guys to go 3-0 on the weekend. Dallas Tornadoes, it's obviously the Texas head-to-head matchup.
Exactly.
What was the discussion like for the team? Was this one personal for you guys?
A little bit, yeah. We wanted to represent Texas, and we wanted to prove that we were the best team. So, we had a meeting before the match, and we were just like, hey, let's go out there and play our game. And if we did that, we would execute, and I think we did a good job of that.
I think you guys did a fantastic job of that. Now, in event 1, as you guys were kind of a new team, getting it all rolling a little bit, it was a little bit of establishing an identity. And I've been talking on the broadcast that you guys had the hardest first event with the top 3 teams returning from Utah. What was that like in terms of going from event 1 to event 2? How did the preparation change between those events?
Yeah, I mean, we played really top 3 teams. Like they were really, really good. So it kind of set us up to like what we need to work on. We need to focus on our blocking. We need to focus on our defense. And right when we got back to Texas after that event, I mean, we worked hard. I mean, the Grosso family, they're intense. Like volleyball is their life. So like if you show up to practice, you better show up 100% every time. And, having Coach Grosso and Gian out there, it's like a mini coach out there. So every time we go out there, we know we have to execute, go 100%. And right when we got back to Texas, we worked. We worked hard.
Well, you can tell. Now that you guys are 4-2, you're moving into that top echelon. And anyone that's seen you guys play, I mean, you guys are winning authoritatively.
Right.
And so one of the big things that I was kind of challenging and wanting to see was a little bit more of a middle establishment because obviously Tim Johnson on the right, Daniel Jacobs as that second opposite, and the power of Grosso. The next piece to fill in was how could you guys get involved in the middle between you and Lovett, and we saw Pasha today as well.
Right.
But you have had an event. I mean, yes, you got man of the match here, but you have had a stellar event all weekend long. So this felt like the exclamation point so well earned. What has been your focus to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tim and Daniel are just a beast on the right side. So if I can do my job, and like I said, the reason middles are successful is because of the back row. So like if Anthony and Gian and CJ are passing well, I mean, any middle is going to appreciate that. And if we get up on time, Gian, Anthony, Tim, Daniel, whoever's in, they're going to put that ball down. So we just need to keep executing, keep passing well, and I think if we do that, we'll be a pretty successful team.
I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
Yeah.
And you'd love to see a middle blocker getting the man of the match.
Love
it's
it.
really one of those big contribution factors.
Yeah.
Guys, that was a huge defense of the home state of Texas for you
Right.
guys here in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
But once again, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the man of match. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back here for the next match. That's going to be the Southern Exposure as they take on the Chicago Untouchables. Thank you, production team, for bailing me out. So we're going to be back here in about a half hour. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.